Are you ready? Oh, I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. Are you ready? Let's do this.
Let's do this thing, man.
The League Podcast.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to The League Podcast. We're here with Jacob and Tyler. We actually got a special guest today, Yanni. Thank you for joining us.
Yanni.
It's so nice to have you.
Thank you very much for having me, guys.
What's up? Of course, man. How you doing?
Doing good. On this fine Sunday, I'm going to go to see J. Cole tonight, too.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
Ronnie's here to talk about football, but the actual football, not really this.
There might be some big disputes in just the word football alone.
Yeah.
It's all football.
He might get a little bit confused, but it's okay. It's Yanni. We love him.
Well,
He's the man.
He's going to be kind of in the background, kind of filling us in on stats. And if we're saying, we're giving you false information, he's going to look it up and correct us, if anything. We did cut our segment short last week because
Ran out of time.
Exactly. We just
Tyler's talking out of his ass.
I know this guy just cannot stop talking.
Man. I had to catch up. Leave me alone. Leave me out of this.
But like I said, we stopped at 35, so we want to get straight to it. We want to get past our top 50 fantasy players and really start going into more fantasy. So let's just get going, man.
We're just gonna go straight into it.
Let's see what you got.
Like, Jake, how you doing? Like, how's your life going?
I don't care.
Like nothing.
Doesn't matter.
No?
Let's
just
get into
fantasy football.
Let's get into
Let's
fantasy.
just go.
Football
Let's
players.
Just go with it. Who wants to go first then? I don't know. Is your baby born yet? I don't know.
It's
September's
I don't know anything.
coming,
but we'll see.
So,
all right. So
let's hear baby daddy number one. Tyler, go ahead, buddy.
Oh, me first.
And then we got Jake
going
next. He's got a baby on the way.
First. We talked about it last episode, so I don't want to get too far into it, but we have Michael Crabtree at 35 for me. Talked about it last episode, so I don't want to bore you with it. He's going to be good. Derek Carr is good.
Good.
Let's move on.
Come on, great. Yeah, we know.
Draft Crabtree if you have a chance.
Yep.
That's all you have to know.
Get my
All
hand
right,
up.
let's
See what
move
you
on
got.
to the next one.
I got at 35. I got Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk at 35?
He's entering his second straight season on a franchise tag. I mean, this guy's got so much money. He doesn't even know what to do with it from these franchise tags. He's got weapons like we already talked about. Their offense has a lot of stuff.
But he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, so he'll end up in the free agency and make a lot of money after a great season this year. So
Could work out.
And I know Dylan's secret little plan is for him to end up on the Rams. So we'll
Sean
see.
McVay's going to recruit him over.
Yeah,
he had a career year.
So
he had a career year with Sean McVay.
Yeah, and listen though too, if he
I hope you heard that.
Yeah,
I hope
that was on the
We're gonna be stuck in this hot box of cards right now. So
wow.
So we'll see how long we last until someone throws up.
If back to Kirk,
Yes.
if they Redskins exercise a franchise tag on him next year, it'll be 120% of his salary right now. So that's why I think that's crazy.
They won't.
They won't.
Their
They'll
defense
either
isn't
sign
good
him
enough
or
to win. Their defense isn't good enough to win. He'll put up stats.
Yeah. Well, like
And
you
he'll
talked
be a good
about,
Defense is not
fantasy-
bad, though.
no, defense
but-
is great.
You know why Tyler says that? Because he's a Cowboys fan.
Ah, you got me. No, Kirk Cousins is good, and they will put up stats. I like Terrell Pryor a lot. We talked about it last episode. I think he's going to be a beast. Crowder will be a beast, too.
Well,
The running game scares me. They got to figure that out.
Wait, so what happened to Fat Rob?
He's still there, man.
That's what I mean. Everyone's scared. Rob Kelly's
He
there.
averaged 4.2
He
yards
did
a carry
okay.
last
He's
year.
not on my top.
He came to camp in phenomenal shape, they said. I mean, this guy is
So-
just-
What's phenomenal shape for him? A fucking bowling ball?
Well-
I already cussed. Dang it. That wasn't long.
Hey,
Tyler wins that award.
like we talked about, though, Kirk with now Terrell Pryor. Terrell Pryor played with 6 different quarterbacks last year. He's going to have a reliable quarterback. Kirk's going to do work. That's my number 35, Tyler.
But think about not only Terrell Pryor,
They're gonna
Jamison
ruin
Crowder,
it.
Jordan Reed, who I'm going to talk about in a little bit,
Yeah.
but Brian Quick from the Los Angeles Rams. He actually signed a 1-year deal with them, and he was a second-round pick that they had high aspirations for. And I think in the right system
He
with
had
the
a
right
career
quarterback.
year last year.
What?
Didn't he have a
Career year, yes, he did.
last year?
So just look out for him. He's not. No one's drafting him. I'm not drafting him, but
yes, you
you never know.
Or no,
He might go into that role of being that second, third guy
Dylan
that's going to
drafted
score.
Tavon Austin in the second round, so who knows what he's doing.
I know. Honestly, Tavon at 50. I mean, it's not like I'm going to draft him in the third round, like I guess
Like
projected him or fourth.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's move on, guys.
All right, who's up?
So I
Someone
got
speak.
35. Actually, another Redskin, Jordan Reed.
Well, he's talking about it right now. He said it was later.
Speaking
This
of
is
it.
right
I
now.
know. I actually didn't realize that, but this guy is dominant, as you guys saw. When he's healthy, this guy puts up number one tight end numbers. You know, he's even better than Rob Gronkowski number wise. Kirk Cousins loves his
Touchdowns.
tight ends. Exactly. So
touchdowns.
Not only,
Touchdowns.
I mean, he plays like a receiver too.
he's as athletic as a receiver.
I have
you know?
Jordan Reed higher than that. So yes, I believe you.
So I mean, I love him.
I believe you.
Yeah, he's gonna have a good year. He's never played a full season. That's what scares me. That's why he's so low on my list.
But you're just, I mean, in fantasy football, it comes down. Eventually, you're gonna play week by week. And people are going to be hurt the entire year. You're going to have to figure out.
But
that's
your
why
top 4 or 5 rounds, you want those guys to go through the season with you. You don't want them just,
I mean,
you know.
Jordan Reed's worth the risk. If he's out there, he's getting you at least 20 points.
So what
at
round are
least.
you picking Jordan Reed? I mean,
4
you're
or 5.
you're picking. So I picked Greg Olsen in the
Probably.
4th round last year.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
I would take Jordan
I'd
higher
probably-
than Greg Olsen. So
Yeah,
I agree.
I'd probably do the same thing. You have anything to say about that, Yanni? Or are you just going to, are you scared?
I know, but this guy.
He's just flipping me off right now. I think he's
Tyler,
scared.
Tyler likes to call people out. He's our stats guy. Nothing has come up yet. Okay.
He's
He
scared.
doesn't have a top 50.
He's cracking
right now.
up. He's
I know,
flipping me
let's throw him
off.
into the
Tell him
fire.
your next pick, then.
Yeah.
Tell him your next pick.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Yeah,
my
come on,
Let's
next
see what you have to say.
my next pick is going to be Allen Robinson.
But
Don't know how well that's going to work out, but if he
34 or
was there,
35?
34.
Me too.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, he's my 34
so we should
player.
do some tag team.
Yeah,
then.
let's do it,
Ready?
man.
Tag me in.
Absolutely. Go ahead,
Allen
man.
Robinson, he did really bad last year. This is
Wait a minute.
he's at 31 for me.
I'm
going
going to stop you right there and say
compared to what he was supposed to do.
exactly. Well, I mean, you look at his receptions compared to the year before when he had his quote-unquote breakout year.
Yes.
He had 80 receptions 2 years ago in 2015, and last year he had 73. So reception-wise, he was there.
I have him projected at 81 receptions this year.
What killed him was
So,
his yards
just-
and his
if he could
touchdowns.
if he could get back to 2 years ago, that's what I'm banking
Well, I mean,
on.
he had 1,400 yards in 2015 with 14 touchdowns. So
I had him
but
that
overall,
year.
6
Exactly.
touchdowns only. I mean,
last year he had
I
6
have
touchdowns.
Check it out though. We're
and
talking
883
We're
yards.
talking a pass game that had 0 run game last year.
No,
They didn't
exactly.
have any,
Yeah, Fournette-
and that's
Fournette
where
will be talk-
we haven't
I'm
even
sure-
mentioned. Listen,
I'm sure
Fournette
Fournette's
is going
on
to
all
open
of
up
our
that
lists.
pass game so big that Allen Robinson might have a great year. I'm just not confident in Blake Bortles. Is why I'm scared of Allen
Yep.
Robinson. So
Yep.
that's the only red flag that I see on A-Rob because I love A-Rob. I had him the year he put up a career year and he won. He got me the championship. So I mean, I love Allen
Here's
Robinson.
a bold
so-
prediction: either Josh Rosen or what's the QB for USC?
He's staying at USC for
Yeah,
2 more
I
years.
doubt
2 more
it.
years.
I doubt
He
it.
will. It's going. I think Josh Rosen.
I have a feeling
Will
one
end
of
up-
those, and then who's it? Grayson Allen. I feel like one of those top 3 quarterbacks.
Not Grayson Allen. It's
Or not Grayson Allen. It's something.
what's his name? Wyoming.
Stats. This is on you. This is
Wyoming.
on
He
you,
went- he
Stats.
goes to Wyoming
You should already have
University.
this looked up. I'm just basically talking.
So
talking.
it's all right. We'll get that when
Yeah,
it comes. But
so I feel like they're gonna be a really bad team, which could work out in their favor or for our
So,
in our favor.
who?
to
Jaguars?
I don't think Bortles is the guy.
So-
I think he's a bust. I don't like him.
I don't think he's the guy,
good.
but I think they could be a good enough team to not have a top pick next year because of their defense.
I think
their
they'll
defense
probably
this year
try
is-
to get a top pick.
I think so
eventually.
too. I think so. If
And
they
I think
can,
he could
they
get
will.
one of those 3 players. And
Yeah.
if they do, they have a good team built, ready to go.
Yep.
They're gonna if they get a
He could
QB
even,
in there.
he could even wait a year and just learn the system and play behind
Sam,
Blake. And
Sam
then
Darnold is the guy I was thinking of. I know there's reports out there that he's going to stay 2
Josh
years.
Allen.
Josh Allen, yes. I
From
heard
Wyoming.
he's good. I've never seen him play, so I don't really know. But if they get a Sam Darnold or a Josh Rosen, they will be good. They're just waiting on a QB. I don't like Blake Bortles. to be
I don't
honest.
either, but he throws touchdowns. He throws.
Sometimes. Or interceptions.
No, he
Either
throws
way.
a lot of
more
interceptions,
than
but he
touchdowns.
throws a lot of touchdowns. Look at his stats. We look up Blake Bortles' stats for us, Yanni. Thank you.
Yes.
He puts up touchdowns, but he also puts up interceptions. But he puts up yards as well. The guy
Yeah.
slings the ball. He's just throwing it downfield, So that's why I like
and who's
A-Rob.
their big target?
I think he's
Allen
too-
Robinson. Yeah,
I
exactly.
think he has too much pressure on him this year. I don't know if he's going to be able to handle it. I don't.
It's
think
a
he's good
contract
enough.
year. He's getting paid or he's not getting paid. He's
Allen
going to make
or
the
Blake?
I think
Allen.
I think they're going to get one of the top 3 picks. You have to realize Blake Bortles' stats last year was all trying to catch up.
Yeah.
All of
He
it.
had 23 touchdowns last year.
Yanni's playing music over here, so I don't know what's going on.
Little
I'm listening
effects
to it.
on here, no worries.
Yes.
One little background music.
I don't know what he's doing over here. That's not stats. That's your iTunes account. So.
Sing with me.
He's still afraid to say anything. He just flips me off. He
All
won't
right.
say anything.
All right, let's go, guys.
All right, what was
Let's
that?
keep it moving.
30, 35? So
34.
he's at 31
34.
for me.
34.
So we don't need to touch base on Allen again here. I think we all know where
So
Allen
it's
lies.
for me and Dylan is 34. So
Yeah,
That's
we're
cute.
gonna skip
You guys are
that.
seriously though. What would you guys
So
call
I
each
gotta.
other? Set that one
Wait,
up.
so you have
This
Allen
guy.
Robinson at 31?
I do.
And
Yeah.
you were just talking shit on him being at 34 for us.
No, I wasn't.
I'm pretty sure you did.
No, I just am saying.
Roll back the tape. Roll back.
I love. I mean, I definitely think he can do it. I have him higher because I think he's.
Yeah, he's
a little better than you guys do,
he's
so.
he's a number one receiver on a team that's going to be down. That's going to be throwing the ball.
But
He'll
are
get
they going to be?
points.
That's
Yeah,
what I was
are
going to
they?
ask you.
I
Like
think he
because
will.
their
I think they
defense
will.
is good enough to maybe not be playing from behind. They have to pull it off on offense, but their defense can possibly win games for them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if they're
That
possibly going
whole
to be
team
playing
scares
from
me.
behind.
I think it all depends on Leonard Fournette.
Dude, they just
I honestly-
acquired
that's what-
Bowie. They have Jalen Ramsey. Their DBs are locked in. They have decent linebackers. They have a great defensive line.
Calais Campbell.
We have with Fowler, Calais Campbell now. I think their defense is sick. Don't
Malik
listen
Jackson,
to Tyler. He
Miles
needs to
Jack.
really
Wait,
understand
I have him
what's
at
going on.
34. What are
No,
you talking
you
about?
just said though they're going to be playing from behind.
I think they will.
They're
I
going to
think
be
they
playing
will.
in
But
competitive
that's my
games.
opinion.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
I think their offense is going to struggle at the beginning until Fournette gets it going. I think they're going to do well. I
they'll
think
have
they're gonna
times that
be-
they struggle because Bortles isn't good enough for them not to struggle.
Yeah,
But
totally.
so let's go to your 34.
All right, 34. I got Mr. LeGarrette Blunt, a new Philadelphia Eagle. I don't know if you guys have him on your top 50 at all.
I didn't even think about him.
So LeGarrette Blunt, obviously we know is a touchdown monster. He's coming from a championship-winning team. I think he's going to be the number one running back in Philly. What do you guys have? Darren Sproles behind him. Who's behind him?
What did he do when he went to the Steelers? That's what I want to know.
He actually,
What did he do?
believe it or not, they got rid of him when he started to kill it. I thought he was starting to put numbers up, and they got rid of him. And they have. I mean, I don't
he
know.
needs
I don't think he
Belichick.
fit their
I don't.
system.
I think he'll be able to get touchdowns. Obviously, he's going to get touchdowns. He's LeGarrette Blunt, but I wouldn't put him in my top 50.
Yeah, I have him because of their offense too. I think they added Alshon Jeffrey. They have Torrey Smith. I think with their offense now, they're going to be able to put. They're going to be in the red zone, and LeGarrette Blunt's going to get the ball. I have. I think he's getting the majority of the goal line.
It'll
Goal line
happen.
reps. So I
He'll
think
probably get-
he's going to be. Last year, what did he finish? LeGarrette Blunt was a top.
18 touchdowns or something
He was
like
a
that.
top 10 running back.
He had 18
He had
touchdowns.
18 touchdowns. So
He had 1,600 yards.
this guy, I'm
Him
telling you,
being
for
on
him
the
just to
Eagles
fall off, I
scares
don't
me,
think.
though,
I don't think
because their entire
Okay.
offensive line is basically one or two people.
No, they're. What are
their
you talking
offensive
about?
line is sick. When was the last time you
Peters,
played Madden, Tyler Seager?
Lane
I
Johnson,
swear,
Kelsey.
Lane Johnson is one of my favorite offensive linemen in the league. He's a beast.
No, I like
So,
Lane Johnson.
I think LeGarrette Blunt is great at
We'll
34. I would take
I
him.
do too.
Um,
I love Carson Wentz this year. I'm going to be
I know.
honest with you. I love Carson
I love
Wentz.
Carson Wentz a lot too, but LeGarrette Blunt scares me. I've seen what he does.
I think
Okay.
this year he's going to have a lot more to work with in the arsenal, so they can make it happen.
Well,
run
even
game
looking
and
at his
pass-wise.
stats, Yanni, why don't you tell us? Like, I mean, you look at his stats and it's just multiple touchdowns.
This is pretty interesting about actually Blount. He has a 50K weight incentive.
Yeah, he does. I
So-
read about that.
If he weighs between
Just like
240 to 250 pounds at the start of training camp, he'll get a 50K incentive. Just
So-
like that.
I mean, they want him to stay in shape, and
We'll
if he
see.
stays in shape, he's going to be a
He's a
beast.
beast.
I think that's
He's a
risky
monster.
at
But he's old.
34.
He's a little old.
So,
He's
hey,
30
I
at
would
a
say
running back.
Wow,
Frank
he's-
Gore in your top
so-
50 is risky too.
Oh,
you know?
for sure, but I had him way- I had him
I
way
have
down.
Blunt, but I think Blunt's potential is way higher than Gore, honestly.
Well,
so,
Gore's one of the hardest working players in the NFL.
No, he
And he'll be the
He
number
is.
one all year.
and I think Blunt will too.
Maybe.
So,
Maybe.
but there isn't anyone competing with Gore. Granted that, but Gore's
Well, that's debatable. They did draft
did
a
they-
running back. What's his name?
Who though?
Mac from USF.
What team? What do
You
you
look
talking
up
about?
Mac,
Colts,
What
Colts
team's
backup
that?
running
He
back.
got-
But
the Colts-
realistically,
the Mac,
is he going to put
M-A-C-K.
pressure on Frank Gore? No. Maybe next year.
He could be that third down back, and then what I read that he has the potential to be that 3 down back.
Well, what about that's what I thought about too. The other guy that was there last year.
Yeah, it happens every year with them. Everyone thinks that some guy's gonna take it over, and then they just bust.
Yep.
And Frank Gore is there to pick up the pieces. It always happens.
Well,
I trust me. I've doubted Frank Gore for way too long, and I'm done doing it.
Well, that's why too. Though I've doubted Blunt for a long time, and now I can't. I think Blunt's on the radar now, even though he's on a new team. I agree. Belichick used him in the right way, and I definitely think Philadelphia is going to do a lot of the same with touchdown wise. I think he's going to be a touchdown monster, which means fantasy points are going to be through the roof.
Marlon Mack.
18 touchdowns last year. Get that in your head. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
So he's at my 34. So
let's move to 33. From me is Spencer Ware. I think you guys have talked about him.
Wow. I'm surprised you have him that high. I don't like it.
He scares me. He scares me a lot.
I didn't see enough out of him.
I actually traded for him last year, and I regret it because when I traded for him, he went downhill.
I think he'll try to prove himself. He's got a good rookie that
Kareem
just got
Hunt.
drafted. Yes.
I talked about him
That's going to push the pressure on Ware.
Yeah.
And I think Ware will get better. I think Ware will be the Ware of old. And he'll do good. He's going to split carries. It's what's going to happen. I've projected at 900 rushing yards and 5 TDs.
That's pretty high.
It is, but that's what I think he could do. I don't think that's
That's like a running back to
and that's where that's running backs are hard to come by. You know, like the last one I just said was Frank Gore. You know, like so that's where I'm at right now with that. I think he could do it. I'm not sure, but if he's the Ware of old, I would put him at 33. That's what I have it picked as.
Phil, what do you got at 33?
So I got a couple guys at 33. We already talked about one, Brandon Cooks, last segment, so I'm not even going to touch base on him. We're going to talk about Doug Baldwin then. I love Doug Baldwin. He really has come onto the scene in the last 2 years. You know, he's had over.
I got him way high.
I have him a lot higher. Or actually,
really?
I'm going to get to him. No, I'm going to get to him on this episode.
So 2 years ago, he had 1,000 yards with 14 touchdowns, and last year he had 1,100 yards with 7 touchdowns. He's the number 1 receiver in Seattle. Mm-hmm. I mean, Russell Wilson and Doug Baldwin just have that connection.
Yin and yang.
Yeah, exactly. He gets open. You know, they read each other, they see each other, they do what they got to do.
Doug Baldwin, I mean, he reminds me of Odell a little bit. Dude, the guy can catch ridiculous balls. He can catch anything, man.
Yeah. What about Tyler Lockett? Is he going to stop sucking?
He's scared. I mean, I thought he was one of my breakout candidates last year, and man,
he's
he
a
was
secret
the biggest
weapon.
bust.
He's not a
he was
number
the
1
biggest bust
receiver.
Last year.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that you utilize that, like a Percy Harvin, where he makes big plays, scores a touchdown, but he's not going to put up 1,500 yards with 10 touchdowns, you know, with 100 catches.
Seattle's offense is going to be interesting this year because it's so much.
It's different.
It's so different.
It's different, man.
Different. They don't know who their running back is yet. I mean, Rawls was good for a while.
But he's like CJ. He's always hurt. CJ's
Pro-Size.
They got a lot of injuries in that running back backfield.
Pro-Size is injury prone too.
Lacey.
Lacey.
They
I don't think Lacey's even going to be a thing there.
Well, I talked about last time. Lacey being a bust. So I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I love him though.
That's a scary offense. I don't know what to do. Like Jimmy Graham.
That's scary every year. And look what they do. They end up putting stats.
Well, last year they started so bad.
So bad. But what happened? Halfway through the year, Jimmy Graham was one of the top tight ends in the league. Doug Baldwin's killing it.
No, I made a trade for Jimmy Graham. He started off hot.
He had a hot streak.
Mm-hmm. He killed me. I lost because of it. Him and Spencer Ware.
Jimmy Graham's hard to tell.
That guy's scary.
Yeah.
But
he's a week-to-week play. Yeah. He's not an instant starter no matter what.
He's going to come into the season, I think, and do pretty well.
He will. He'll be a top 10 guy.
So 33 for me, of course. We already talked about him, so I'm sad because I would love to elaborate more. Is Mr. Devontae Adams.
we had a big discussion last time.
We had a big discussion, so we don't need to elaborate
Draft
too much.
Adams is going to be a beast. He has potential to be a star wide receiver.
We're talking
number 1 guy,
contract year.
As a number 2, he's
playing with the best quarterback in the league and one of the best offenses in the league.
Him and Jordy together.
Devontae Adams. Any package
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised next year if people weren't drafting Adams in the 2nd round.
That's exactly what I said.
And he's still going to be the number 2 when they do it.
Yeah, straight up.
Jordy's the number 1 guy. It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense at all. Since we talked about him, let's move on. 32 I don't know if you guys have him higher up. This was a hard one for me. It's super hard. DeAndre Hopkins.
He's way higher.
I wanted to put him so much higher because
I shouldn't say so much higher. He's only a few spots higher, actually.
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins, he finally has a QB that could throw to him. Finally.
And, hold on. We're not only talking the quarterback. We're talking same alma mater. We're talking both Clemson
everything.
Boys. Those two are going to be, like, totally
I wanted to
chemistry.
put him higher just because of that, but
But
I
Tom
couldn't
Savage
because of
is
what,
a starter.
Not for long.
All right.
Not for long.
No, I don't think so either. We talked about it in
Deshaun
another episode. I think Deshaun Watson, before the start of the season, gets that starting job.
Deshaun
I think
Watson
they don't
is ready for this. He's ready for this.
I don't
It's
know
what the Texans needed. Texans will probably be in the playoffs this year because of Deshaun Watson.
No,
I think so.
no.
And their defense.
Not because of
And their
Deshaun Watson,
defense.
because of their defense. Thank you.
Well,
Absolutely.
defense, but finally having a QB that could, not
love
Brock
it.
Osweiler
Yeah.
or anything other than Brock Osweiler.
Or a Tom Savage. I mean, come on. The guy cannot throw. He has no ability compared to Deshaun Watson. Deshaun can get out of the pocket.
He has
can stay in the
experience.
pocket. He has experience, which Deshaun, I think, can gain quickly. So,
Deshaun's the man.
so
Deshaun,
DeAndre
come in.
Hopkins at what?
32.
32.
I figured you guys probably had him higher.
I have him
And
at 24. I have Deshaun at 24.
I wanted
I have
to
him
put
at
him
22, exactly 10.
I
higher
wanted
than
to
you
put
did,
him
so.
higher, but I don't know Deshaun Watson yet. Like I don't know what he's going to be
But you
in
know
the
DeAndre
NFL.
Hopkins. He's going to get the targets regardless, no matter
But he
who's throwing
didn't
the
do
ball.
much with it.
I think-
traded for him
year.
last year.
I
He
think
didn't
at
do
the end
anything.
of the year, he started
Buzz.
to
He
get
was-
like 9 to 12 targets a game. I mean, the guy.
Well, he was getting targets all year, but
Yeah.
no one could hit him.
Who was
Brock Osweiler couldn't do shit.
Who was a bigger bust than DeAndre Hopkins last year?
Tyler Lockett.
Well,
But I know-
No,
but
DeAndre Hopkins is
was
way
out
higher.
of the
As
top.
of elite receiver wise,
People were drafting DeAndre Hopkins in the
I'd
first
say the
round
only other
last
person
year.
would be Dez,
I mean,
but Dez still had a better year than DeAndre Hopkins. So DeAndre, you're
I actually
right.
have
DeAndre
Dez
might
and
be the
DeAndre
biggest bust of last
both
year,
at
so that's
24.
why I couldn't put him higher up. I think he's going to be better because he finally has someone that knows what to do, but who knows? So I'm going to put him at 32. I think if he's there at 32, you take him, obviously.
He will not be there at
No, he
32.
won't.
That's crazy.
But
you're right.
If he
Top
is,
five.
then I
You
think people
snag
are
him.
reaching for him. I think people are
No, you're
taking
right.
too much of a risk.
I think you wait on it, and if he's there, you take it. Absolutely.
That's why I put him at 32.
And if he
was
could be
at
your
32,
second receiver, then let have it.
If I was,
I have a question. So, how many points did each of your top players make last year in fantasy? Do you remember?
I couldn't tell you off the top. of my
I
head.
think
know.
one of mine was probably 180s, 190s.
No, more than that.
No,
Wait.
Your top players were in 300s.
Who?
Yeah,
No, they
30
weren't.
something.
It would be a quarterback.
No, they're in the 300s, not 100. I don't know. That would,
I
that would
think,
be crazy.
why,
I don't know.
what is
I don't-
that?
I don't know that much about it.
Well, DeAndre Hopkins, I think, got about 179
That's horrible. Horrible.
points
That's
last year in fantasy points.
Look up like Julio Jones
Look up- I
or
was gonna
something
say,
like
well,
that.
that would be monstrous.
And then
Well,
we'll
I think
Because that's who he was compared
197.
to.
Sorry, I stand to correct myself.
How much?
still not good.
197 points.
People were drafting him in the first and second round.
Mhm.
He didn't go past the second round.
He
I
was
don't
drafted
think,
in
any-
the first round, or 12th overall. I think.
Yeah.
top 12. Maybe first pick. or
First,
second.
I think it was the second round, to be honest. Mike Estep drafted him.
Can you look
So
up
either
Julio
first or
Jones
second.
or something like that?
Why don't you look up 2016 fantasy football stats?
Julio Jones had like
Points.
330 points. Some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
350 or
Well,
something.
if it's one of your top players that you draft in the first or
Yeah,
second
you're right.
round, they're at the 300s. Like
The
it's
reason
somewhere in
I
the
said
mid
that is
300s
because
to
of
high
these mock
300s.
drafts that I've been doing where it projects their 2017 points, and it says like 190 for some of the top guys. It
Yeah,
really
DeAndre
does,
Hopkins is a risk. We know he could play, but
That is standard too, though.
But
That's why
he's a
I'm
risk.
going off standard, not
Yeah.
PPR. We're
Mhm.
going always off PPR. So I don't know what else I'm about.
all right. Well, we'll move on. We'll wait see if their stats guy could ever find up any stats for us. We'll move on to.
So what are we at?
We're on
at 32.
Dylan's 32.
Yep, we're at 32. I've got a guy on a contract year, and he's only making $893,000 this year. And it's crazy because he's tied for the most receptions in the first 3 seasons of his career. And it's actually, he's tied with Odell Beckham. It's Jarvis Landry's old partner in
Yep,
LSU.
Brothers.
I mean, this guy, I don't even know what to say about him. He's awesome.
Juice.
Dude, he can catch the ball.
For
He can,
PPR, he's good.
he is. He's a stud. I
For
mean,
standard, not.
So what did Julio pull in last year, Jan? How many points did Julio put in? fantasy wise.
He was definitely not top 20.
Julio Jones?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was.
No.
I'm pretty sure he was.
David Johnson, number 1. Aaron Rodgers, number 2.
What are the points, though? What are we talking about?
400.
407
David Johnson.
for David Johnson.
So that's like
Running
so if you were good, it would be
That was you?
in the
My two
300s.
top players. Those are my
Hopkins
keepers. My
was
2
way
keepers,
short
number
of
1
that.
and number
Bust. That's a bust. So
pretty
that's
good.
what scares me about him.
Oh, Julio Jones. Okay, he's got 259.
259. So like,
T.Y. Hilton had more points.
well,
Odell
Julio was
Beckham,
hurt
Mike
last
Evans.
year.
He missed a couple games.
He did.
So that affected it, but I was just talking about like one of the top ones. I mean, DeAndre
Well, when he
Hopkins
played-
wasn't
No.
Hopkins wasn't
Yeah,
hurt.
what did DeAndre Hopkins get? Can you look for him?
He wasn't
He was
hurt.
190.
So.
197.
197. So he had 100 more points, but
Yeah, let's go back to Dylan's. Since we finally got the stats 10 minutes later.
Yeah, I was just saying, I got Jarvis Landry. This guy has got unbelievable hands, incredible route running, energetic.
Yes.
This guy has the desire to be excellent. That's what I love about him. He's working day in and day out, just like Odell.
Tannehill scares me, but
He does.
but
he
their
does.
offensive line doesn't.
Their offensive line is
scary good.
so dominant. And
So,
I read about
PPR draft Landry.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I
For
take
sure.
them. I take them both. I like Juice a lot. It's my boy.
Yeah.
I love anybody from LSU. Honestly, they breed beasts and Alabama.
All right, so let's go to Jake's 32 then.
I got Matty Ice Ryan at 32.
Ooh,
I
another
think
quarterback.
so. It's crazy though because a lot of people, he's coming off an MVP year. So are we talking regressing like most quarterbacks do off an MVP year, or is he gonna keep it consistent and have another great year? I think
it's hard to tell with him, but their
I
offense
think
is
it's
so high powered.
so good that
Yeah.
I think no matter what, he's
They
going to
have
be able to
too many
consistently
weapons. I mean,
put up great numbers to have Matty Ice, of course, be in the top 40.
yeah,
for
they
me.
have way
So-
too many weapons. It's not even fair what they have over there.
But they did lose head coach Kyle Shanahan, so that's going to be interesting seeing him in a new offense.
It'll be their offense will be a little bit down next year.
They will,
I think,
and Julio's coming
but-
off another surgery. But what's
Yeah.
new? He's always coming off a surgery. But I think coming off an MVP, I think he's going to play pretty well. He went to the Super Bowl last year, and I think because losing it in the fashion they did, he's going to be starving to
You
get
also
out there.
have to realize Matty Ice. This year, his defense was so young last year. This year, they're going to be so much better, and they're not going to. I feel like they're going to run it so much more than
Yeah.
pass it than
Oh,
they
yeah.
did last year. And
well,
you have to take that.
His
into
numbers
account.
might regress because of that fact. They're going to run the ball.
I think they'll for sure regress, but they were so ridiculous last year. Like,
Yeah.
what's the difference? You
Yeah.
know,
He's still
Like,
going to be a
it's-
top tier quarterback. I think you have to take him if
Yeah.
you get that chance.
I don't have him on my list. Obviously, I don't have many quarterbacks on my list because
Yeah.
of how I'm thinking
Yep.
about all of it. But Matty Ice is a good pick to have to run it again.
Yeah,
to,
I mean, he's
to
going
make it back to the Super Bowl.
That's
I mean,
somebody you don't have to weekly worry about. That's
Who-
someone you're playing every week.
who
because
in
you
the
know you can.
NFC is gonna make it to the Super Bowl? Like, who's better than the Falcons? Who's better?
It's not gonna. I mean, those are the guys.
I mean, it's
So-
like
Matty Ice without a
Packers
doubt.
So
always-
you
in
guys think the Falcons are going to the Super Bowl again?
No,
no, probably not. But they have the best
I,
shot.
I feel like during the year though,
It's hard
they're
to
gonna
tell.
have a great year.
I think-
it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. I mean, I want the Cowboys to make it. You know, so it's hard to be unbiased about it. But I think they're one of the best teams. They could they're one of the
Best
best teams,
contenders,
offense
I mean,
and defense.
every
Like,
year.
obviously, the Packers can make it, but they only have an offense.
No, they don't. Get out of here with that.
Oh,
Come on.
man,
Dude, we have everything we need now. We're going to the ship. It's without a doubt. Come
We'll
on.
see,
And like you
we'll
said,
see.
it's hard to be unbiased. So you know, we gotta,
I'm just trying to be
I
unbiased.
know,
Oh.
but I definitely think that the Falcons are in those contenders every year, especially with Matt leading that offense. Even though they're in a new offense without Kyle Shanahan.
Well,
but-
all the weapons he has, like we
Yeah.
talked about
well,
before.
we talked about it. So
Yeah.
32 is Matty Ryan for me. Do you have who do you got at 3-2?
I already said my 32 is DeAndre Hopkins, but I'll go to 3-1. 31 for me. I doubt you guys even had this guy on your list, but is Beast Mode. Beast Mode.
I don't.
Risky. Super risky, but who else scores touchdowns better than him? If he gets 20 yards a game, he's still getting at least 1 or 2 touchdowns.
Not to mention how amazing their offensive line is.
Exactly.
It's in the same conversation
with the Cowboys
as the Cowboys.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and like Jalen Richard and people like that, they're gonna take over his carries.
Yeah.
But when it gets down to the 5-yard line,
They
even
know
the
what they're
10-yard
gonna
line,
do.
it's gonna be beast mode.
And guess
doesn't
what?
matter.
Derek Carr is going to be the one heading that. Like, hey, we're not going to anybody else, but we're giving the ball.
Well, look
to
what
Lynch.
Latavius Murray did last year, and he's not beast mode. He is
No.
not
No.
You
Marshawn
put
Lynch.
anybody in
I
that
think
running back situation, they're going to excel.
When you
I
have a
think-
good offensive line, I mean, come on.
I think beast mode is gonna be so he's finally playing for his hometown team. His team is actually good. Somehow the Raiders magically became good. I don't know how it happened, but it's happened.
Great
Raiders
job,
are
Rez
good,
McKenzie.
and now he's gonna want to show up for his friends, for his family, for the fans of the Raiders. They're about to leave Oakland. He's about to send them.
They're
off.
going to give him a ship. Yeah.
Yep. He's gonna go beast mode. That's what he does. That's what he does. I mean, I don't know how you could leave him off the. I know why you guys left him off the list, but it's
No, I get
beast
what you're
mode,
coming
man.
from.
It's beast mode.
Yeah.
Like you can't
Honestly,
argue
I
it.
left him off the list because I saw a video of him playing soccer the other day where he took the red card out. Did you see him running? It looked like he had 2 sprained hamstrings. He's like limping everywhere.
Well, he's like fucking
He just
savvy,
gotta get
though.
5 yards though.
No,
Remember
you're right. He
Miles
just needs
Jack?
touchdowns,
Remember
so.
Miles Jack at UCLA when it was like,
Remember, that
"Yo,
was
we
last
need
year.
5 yards right now. Go get it." That's beast mode.
Go Bruins.
Yep,
Yeah,
go Bruins.
Right. At least we can all agree on something.
I know, right?
So that was what 31 for you. So
31.
you go 31, Dill.
I got a couple
'cause-
guys, but we talked about one of them last time, Demarius Thomas, so I'm not going to touch base on Demarius. My other guy, 31, is Alshon Jeffrey. This guy is coming to a completely different system, a new offense, a new team. He's healthy, though. And I love Carson Wentz. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm depressed that the Rams took Jared Goff over Carson Wentz. I
You
mean,
should be.
this is pre-training camp ranking, so let's
Yes.
wait and see what Jared Goff can do because I've read a lot of good things
But
about
Wentz
him.
is already
but-
the man. Like
He
everybody
is.
knows.
Yeah,
I have
exactly.
Alshon Jeffrey 2 spots ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So,
So,
I mean,
I'm with you. Everything you're saying, I'm down with. I know Jake picked him a little bit later, but that's understandable. Alshon Jeffrey's Alshon Jeffrey, and he finally has a QB to throw it to him.
yeah,
That's going
absolutely.
to target him.
Yep.
He's going to
He
target
knows
him.
what he has. He's a young quarterback that's going to put it to the big receiver.
Jeffrey will finally live up to his potential. Every
He's on my
year,
team.
it's like
I was thinking about
Straight
it.
up, man.
every
Like,
year, it's Alshon Jeffrey's going to be really good.
And I
it
wanna
never
say
is.
It never is.
that the
But now it will.
offensive,
It will.
like the receiver coach or offense coordinator or something is It was Alshon Jeffrey's coach when he was on the Eagles when he had the breakout year with 89 receptions, 1,400 yards, and 7 touchdowns. So, I mean, if he can stay healthy, he has the potential to be a top 10 receiver. So that's why I have him in 31. So,
nice.
Jake, what do you got?
So we're at 31. I have who we've already discussed on. I have 2 guys. We have A-Rob, who we've
Okay.
touched base on
Yep.
already at 31, but I also have him tied with Julian Edelman. So I have Julian Edelman, and I know that might be high to you guys, but I just feel like, and they do have so much firepower in that offense in the Pats, but I just feel like he's so consistent, and he's going to get him the ball because of the chemistry between Tom Brady and Julian Edelman. So he's at 31 for me. Julian Edelman and
Yeah,
Allen
with
Robinson.
PPR,
are tied.
he's reliable. He's a safe pick.
Yeah.
He's a safe
I don't know
pick.
if he's scoring touchdowns.
I think you know what he's
all
going
the
to give
time,
you. He'll
but-
give you between 10 to 15 points. Every once in a while, he'll get a few touchdowns
Yeah.
in a game. But he's a safe pick. He's a safe
he's
pick.
totally safe, reliable. I'm not saying he's going to be
Yeah, no,
giving you
understandable.
crazy
He's a
points,
great flex.
but-
I think he's a great
absolutely,
flex.
Absolutely. So I think he's a good number 31 for me.
I
Okay,
agree.
so we'll move on. We got to go fast because we're trying to get 15 in right now. 15 players from each.
Or
people.
10 more. 10 more now.
10 people. Yeah, 10 now. But this is gonna be a debate one. Mike Gillislee.
That's not a debate. I actually have
30
him as a
at
sleeper.
30.
He's a sleeper for me, but
high for me.
I have him getting a lot of touchdowns. I think if they're going to run the ball, the Patriots do something different every week, but if they're going to run the ball, he's going to be out there. It's not going to be James White. It's not going to be Deion Lewis. It's going to be him. He's going to be out there,
But
and
they-
he's going to get the touchdowns. Those people are down there to catch passes.
who
That's
did
what
they
it is.
sign? They signed Mike Gillislee, and they also signed, not
30, I'm putting it up there. 30 is high. I know that it's high, but that's how much I believe that he's going to be.
No, I agree. I think he's going to score
He's going to take Blunt's
touchdowns.
spot.
Yeah,
he's going to take Blunt's spot. That's how it's going to be.
But with Belichick, everyone's planning to defend what they did last year in that type of offense. They're going to completely switch it.
They're
up.
not going to stop anything.
They're different every week,
Belichick
though.
changes every single week.
Exactly.
He's not going to. I don't think they're going to play.
Well,
like
that's
that.
why, like Gillislee, I think he's once again a good flex. I don't think he's a good running back one or
And that's
running
where
back
somebody,
two.
as a flex, I wouldn't put him in my top 50. That's why he's not in there for me.
Some games
But I
I
do
wouldn't.
think he's a sleeper, and
Some games I wouldn't be surprised that he doesn't even see the field. But other games I think he gets to 30 points.
Yeah, 20, 30 points.
Yeah,
exactly.
he could easily hit 30 points. It
Yeah.
happens with the Patriots.
Does.
That's what the Patriots do.
That's 3 touchdowns. I mean, in a few yards right there. I mean, it's
Let's
doable.
get to 30, Dill.
So 30 is my number one tight end, Travis Kelce.
Number 1
My number one tight end.
above Gronk. Gronk's not even on your list.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Number
I was
two
gonna
tight end.
say.
Gronk
No.
is a little
I was
more
like,
up
oh
there.
my god,
I totally forgot about Gronk.
Jesus,
But, last year he set career highs with 85 receptions, 1,100 yards, no fumbles whatsoever. He was a first-team All-Pro. The only question I have, the biggest question I have is if Tyreek Hill can be that number one guy. And if he can't, then I know Travis Kelce will kind of...
biggest worry I have is Alex Smith.
I don't worry about Alex Smith. That guy has been consistent throughout his entire career.
Some games he won't even throw it to Kelsey. I had Kelsey last year. I know. I saw what happened. He would come up with 20 points, and then the next game have 5.
Well, let's not...
Like, it didn't even make
we're
sense.
talking about
If you look at his
I think the
stats...
number 2 tight end in the league. I think his ability is through the roof, and if he
I think
does
Jordan
throw
Reed's
the ball,
the number 2.
the
but
ball
I think Jordan Reed, Greg Olsen, and Travis Kelce are all kind of around the
tied
same.
up too,
Yeah, they're
around
all kind
2,
of...
3.
I mean, even Gronk, I think all 4 of them are kind of
Yeah.
all... It depends on if they can stay healthy. It depends on if their quarterbacks can get them the ball.
I'm just scared of Smith, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's all.
He's one of those quarterbacks that he likes to throw his tight end because he likes those short routes like Sam Bradford, with Kyle Rudolph.
I've seen it last year where he just disappears.
But you look
It scares me.
but not very often. You
Not
say that,
often,
but not very often.
But he'll
I mean,
disappear every
tight
once in
end
a while.
position is so difficult in fantasy football.
It is. It's
It's
one of
one-
those. If you don't have a
it's-
starter, then you're week to week playing.
It's
plug
so
and
difficult.
plays.
That's why if you can get Travis Kelce, Greg Olsen,
Jordan Reed.
Gronkowski, then you're set. You're set. But other than that, you're playing week to week.
Tight end's hard. Yeah.
It is.
You want to get one.
Absolutely. So
All right,
So,
let's go to your
We're
30.
at 30. This is someone just like earlier. I don't want to talk about him, but I'm going to talk about him because I think he has a great year this year. We're talking about Mr. X Factor Des Bryant. So he's, I think he's going to have a great year this year.
number 24 for me.
I think Des Bryant
18.
is doing wonders this year. Honestly, I usually stay away from all Cowboys just because I don't like them. But Dez, I would definitely think about drafting this year.
Absolutely.
I think with him and Dak and what they're doing in that offense, I mean, we don't even need to elaborate. Dez is amazing. Dez has all the skill in the world. Dez is going to put up mad numbers this year.
Well, I keep talking about
Just
Aaron
throw it up.
Rodgers and how I'm going to keep Aaron Rodgers. But as the preseason goes on, I don't know. I know I'm keeping David unless he gets hurt. TJ.
Even if he gets hurt, keep
Yeah,
him for next
exactly,
year.
exactly.
Like, yeah, that's.
But
he's the
Aaron
number one
Rodgers
guy.
is up in the air because, like you said earlier, Tyler, that you can still get quarterbacks later.
Yes, you can.
So if
Easy.
you can keep a guy that's going to be a top 5 running back or receiver, do it.
Yep.
And the only reason I'm keeping A-Rod over Dez right now or DeAndre Hopkins is because I know A-Rod will be a top 5. I know Dez will be a top 5, or I'm sorry, A-Rod will be a top 5 quarterback. But I don't know if Dez is going to be a top 5 receiver. DeAndre will. I mean, they're in my top. I mean, they're a second-round pick in my top 50. They're both at 24 right now. So we play in a 12-man league. That's a second-round pick. So
And that's what you want.
Exactly, man.
I'm
So
keeping Zeke and I'm keeping Mike Evans on my queue.
I mean, it's obvious for you, man.
Yeah.
I got a lot of studs on my team that
Yeah.
weren't very good last year, but they're good
Could be,
players.
yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it's tough. I mean,
You're talking about getting rid of the number 2 overall fantasy player last year.
I know.
Do
But
it.
you
Please,
could,
make
but
my
you could
day.
find
Make
people
my
that
day.
are comparable.
I tried it last year. You can't
They're
find
not.
anybody
No.
comparable to Aaron Rodgers. Say that again,
No, they're
please.
not.
Let them listen to that. Let them listen to the nonsense you're speaking. It doesn't happen. No one's putting up the same numbers as Aaron Rodgers.
Drop Aaron
except Tom
Rodgers
Brady-
if
except
you
Tom
really
Brady.
want to. Get a second-round draft pick. Draft, I don't know,
Who?
Gronk
Yeah.
or
No one's coming to
DeMarco
you.
or Melvin Gordon or
Any of those
any of
players
those people,
are putting
and then the
quarterback
third
numbers
round,
up.
if
Aaron
you're really
Rodgers numbers.
if you're really scared of not having a quarterback, then the third round just take Luck. Luck will still be there. I mean, it will happen.
But I don't think of Luck
you
like I
could
do with
you
A-Rod.
could
I was
drop
gonna say
Aaron Rodgers and pick up someone like better for you because running backs are hard to come by.
They are. I think that's
You
the
could
hardest
get-
thing
you
this year
could
to come
pick-
by.
Melvin Gordon, you could pick DeMarco, you could pick LaShawn McCoy, like any of these people you could get, and then the next round, if you're really scared that you're not going to get a QB, just go pick up Luck or Brady or someone like that. Like it's not that big of a difference, and you get that player.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. I mean,
I mean,
agree
that's
to
how I look
disagree.
at it.
I agree to disagree.
I tried it last
Always,
year. It didn't
always.
work for me, so I'm going back to roots, and I'm doing what I always thought was best and drafting quarterbacks high.
Well, I drafted David Johnson number 1 last year and Aaron Rodgers in the second round.
Look how
So
it
those are
worked
my
out.
top 2 picks, and they were the 2 top scorers in fantasy. So
I got forced
But-
to draft DeMarco Murray in the first round.
No, it was
no,
AJ Green,
AJ Green. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, AJ Green. That's-
Yeah.
who you have, I think, pretty high.
I do, and I like AJ Green a lot, but I also had like the 3rd pick overall or something like that. Like it didn't even make sense.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people that were still.
Anyways,
available.
let's move on.
So
guys.
we at what, 29?
I'm at 29 now. I had Alshon Jeffrey. We talked about him. I like him a lot. I like Carson Wentz a lot. I mean, I don't think we really need to go into it too much more, do we? We all talked about
Yeah.
it. Yeah, we all picked that player, yeah. So I have him at 29, which is higher than everyone else, but I like him.
No, I
trust
agree.
him.
He's right there with me too, man.
I don't
I'm a
trust
couple-
him. I don't know how you trust him. What do
Alshon?
you trust? Yeah.
I trust
I think-
Wentz. I trust Wentz.
Okay, I see that, and I do.
But you were
love-
talking pretty highly of him
I
earlier
like
when we
Alshon,
talked
but
about
I
him.
don't trust him. I have him on my team. What did he
Yeah.
do for me? He didn't
Well, he
do
was
anything.
suspended.
But I had him for maybe three games
And
before
he was
was.
hurt a lot
And
last
mind you,
year.
he's playing with Jay Cutler, so he's not with the great reliable quarterback. But Alshon, though, exactly, he's injury prone. I am scared. I don't trust him as much as I want to. He has all the ability in the world, but I don't know if I trust him.
But what I read about him was this is the best. I mean, everyone probably says this, and I've said this multiple times when we've talked, but I've read that this is the best offseason he's ever had, and he feels great. I mean, he feels amazing. He's never felt this healthy since being drafted. So, I mean, that's what they say. I don't know if it's the truth, but
All
that's
right,
what
we've
I'm going
talked
off
about him enough. Let's
Yeah.
go to year 29.
of. Me?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. I got Lamar Miller. So,
Ooh.
Lamar Miller, this guy is... He killed it on the Dolphins 2 years ago. I mean, he was one of the top running backs, and last year he went to the Texans, and it was to say the least, it was a shit show.
I like, but with Deshaun Watson, it's different.
Exactly.
I have him higher.
Yeah.
I
So I
have him
mean,
higher than
the only
that.
reason I have him this low is because I don't know what to expect. I really don't know what to expect. I don't know if Tom Savage is going to be the quarterback. I don't know if Deshaun Watson's going to be the quarterback.
Watson will be the quarterback.
I think so too. Watson's going to be there. Watson's going to take that job, and
He's going to make the
Lamar
offense
Miller
actually
is
look like
gonna-
an actual offense.
Lamar Miller is
He's
going to do
look-
work back there to open up DeAndre Hopkins. Everything's going to work out for the Texans. I think.
Can Lamar Miller stay healthy? That's the biggest question.
Probably not.
That's
but
a big
he'll be
question.
good while he's healthy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
agreed.
So whatever. Who cares, right? All right, let's go to year 29.
I got 29. I got Amari Cooper. I think he could even be rated higher, but I have Amari Cooper because I love Michael Crabtree so much. I think they even each other out in a sense. I think Amari
Crabtree
Cooper
gets the TDs.
Crabtree, that's what gives him points, and then Amari gets down the field and gets the big chunks of yardage, and he gets TDs too, though. So you can't say he doesn't.
I think
but-
Amari's a top 5 receiver this year.
I have him,
But
I
I-
have him a little bit higher, not that
I
much,
do.
but I have him a little.
So
bit.
I
my
have
top
him.
15.
And I would take
Top
him at the
15,
end of the
yeah.
second round or top of the third, in my opinion. So that's where I would draft
Yeah.
him personally. And I do think he has the potential to be higher. I would
I would draft him bottom of the first, top of the second.
I love
not
their.
bottom of the first. No,
I wouldn't either.
No.
But
He's my number 5 receiver.
But so that's number 29. What I got for that.
29.
But their offense is amazing. So I think everybody in that offense is going to flourish this year.
All right, Jake.
What do you got?
Well,
Another guy. I know it. Another pack.
well, this is gonna be. Yeah, you're gonna be excited about
Jordy?
it. So I'll just say the name and then you can talk however much you want to talk. At 28, I have Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my
Last
gosh,
year.
that's low. That is low.
Wow.
But hey, I love the pick. I mean, I would take him way higher than 20. What do you have? 29?
That's
28.
crazy.
28. That's where I have him. 28.
Wow.
Aaron Rodgers. He's my number 1 QB on my board, but I like everyone else in front of him a lot better. So
All right. Well, hey, I think he finished as the number 2 overall fantasy player in football last year.
But the difference from the number 1 fantasy QB to the 6th fantasy
No,
QB
there's a lot. Don't say that.
I mean,
no. I've read. I did my research because people say that all the time, and it's actually the first one. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. You look at their points compared to the 6th and 7th ranked guy.
shits
On him.
Shits on
Shits
him.
I drafted Andrew Luck in both my leagues in the 7th round last year. So they're
Not lucky.
there.
Not
QBs
this
are
league,
there.
Not our league.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, in our league. Yeah. And what did he do for you? Did you even play him?
Yeah, he was Andrew Luck. He's good.
He won a few games for you. I remember.
Yeah, he was good. It was a lot of garbage time stuff, but he was good. I mean,
I think Andrew Luck.
so what's the
is gonna
point
have a
of
better year.
drafting Aaron Rodgers in like the bottom of the first or high second compared to Andrew Luck in the 7th round? Like, it's not that
Look
much.
at
That's
the
what
point
it is.
difference.
though.
So
Yeah.
look at what did Luck
Look it up.
finish with then last year. Luck finished probably with nowhere near Aaron Rodgers' stats. My point is, quarterbacks score more points than anybody in football, except maybe running back. So
David Johnson.
So, and that's last year. It's always different, but
No,
I feel
understand you
like
guys'
that's
points,
low. But I'm glad you got so many Packers up here. It's hard not to. It's hard not to get.
There's
them all.
only
That's
one
up
more left.
Only
so.
one more. I'm guessing
So-
it's Jordy, Mr. Jordy.
Well,
But
obviously,
I don't even
but-
think we need to elaborate on A-Rod. We know what
Yeah.
he's about.
A-Rod's
He's
good.
about winning. Relax.
He's the number 1 QB. Draft him number 1, not anyone else.
So you want to hear something real quick?
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers, the next best quarterback was Matt Ryan, and he was 35 points underneath him. So that's a whole beautiful game. That's 2 weeks of a decent quarterback,
Totally.
you know? And I mean, you look at the 5th quarterback, Andrew Luck,
What was
80 points less.
That's
3 games. That's 3 games right there. 20 points, 25 points.
totally.
I mean-
I think you're
But
you're
if
not
you- but
valuing those quarterbacks as high as I feel like they should be. I did the same thing you're doing last year,
I've done
and it worked against me.
I've done it
So,
every time that I
it's
played
all
fantasy
about-
football. That's how I look at. I'd much rather have
skill
RB1 than
That quarterback.
wasting a spot on a quarterback
Yeah.
that I could get someone actually that I could use, like that's useful to me.
I don't think you're understanding quarterbacks are useful.
No, they are obviously useful, but
The top two,
I
though.
would rather have some sort of running back or a good receiver or
I hear
something
you.
like
I hear
that.
you.
Well, I just think
Because
80
there's not that
points-
many out there. There's QBs you could get all
But
the time, but
let's look at
but
the
there's not.
receiver
You can't
stats.
just pick up a running back 1 off the waiver wire. It's not going to happen.
The number 1 receiver had 307 points. Okay?
Mhm.
This is my point, Dill. That no one can even get close to what a quarterback scores.
No.
So why I don't understand.
No,
what's
but
the
I'm not.
logic
I'm not. But
behind-
I'm not
what's
trying
the
to
logic
say that
behind-
they are.
I know. Well, value-wise, that's why I'm valuing them so much higher. Is because no one scores more points than them. I don't get why nobody
Because it's
understands
harder
that.
to get a running back and a receiver.
Yeah.
That's why
Receiver,
it's harder to get one.
it's pretty
That
deep.
scores points. Receivers deep. I don't think
Running
Not,
back
but no,
is
not,
shallow.
but not a running back or a wide receiver 1. Not a wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
Like you can't get one.
No, you're right.
And there's still some on the board before you pick Aaron Rodgers. So
But we're doing a keeper
I'll-
league in our
I'll
league.
show
That's
you
what
that.
I'm kind of
that
thinking
cuts
about.
it all out for us.
So
We don't
that's
even
kind
get
of
to choose,
taking
so.
the top 5 to 10 receivers, top 5 to 10 running backs out of my even vision. So
Exactly.
what's the point of trying to even draft one? Because there's not.
Totally.
all right, let's move on to 28 to you, Dill.
Oh, yes. Yes. I've been waiting for this pick. TG3, Todd Gurley is number 28 for me. The only reason he's so low is because obviously
that's pretty low, dude.
Wow, I have him way higher.
he had a bad year last year.
So
we
that's
all
what
saw
you're basing that. You're basing
No,
it off
no,
of
no,
last
no.
year.
I did not see the explosion out of Todd Gurley last year that I saw 2 years ago his rookie year. So, with Todd Gurley, he's in the right offense. I mean, they're going to throw the ball a lot more, but they're also going to run it. Todd Gurley is the vocal point of this offense. They've built the offensive line around Todd Gurley, so it's a running offensive line. I love him. 28 for me. I actually have C.J. Anderson kind of right up there with him at 28. But we'll see how he does. I mean, that guy is always getting hurt as well.
No.
What do you guys got at
Todd?
28? No, I'm saying C.J. Anderson.
So yeah, who that was CJ that you just did or Todd?
I did Todd, but
Oh,
C.J. is tied with him at 28 for
Gotcha.
me. Yeah.
Gotcha. So I got a running back there too. I got Mr. Leonard Fournette, LSU bred rookie coming into the league. I got him up there, and I know it's kind of high, honestly.
No, dude. I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh, is it?
I got him at 21. I got
So you're
Leonard
right in that
Fournette at
range.
21.
You're
I have him at 25.
So I
okay.
agree. I
We're
think
all
he's
20s. We have
Yeah,
Leonard.
he's all around. He's around there.
He's going into offense that I think he's going to flourish in. They're going to use him. They're going to pound the rock.
They
with him
have
like
to use
crazy.
him. They
No,
don't have
they
a
need
choice.
They have no
Yeah.
other choice. Exactly. No one else can. No other running back there has proven to be able to score in the red zone. Leonard Fournette's going to be that guy. They're going to use him not only in the red zone but all around.
That's
so.
why I think Blake isn't as bad as you guys think he's going to be, because Blake has never had that running back that can take over.
Yeah.
They've
Help out a
never
lot.
been able to ground and pound it. They've
Yeah,
always had to
see.
go to the pass, where Blake Bortles is throwing 50 passes a game, which is, it's crazy. He shouldn't be throwing that much, you know?
Yep.
So I think Leonard Fournette really not only benefits the running game, but he benefits the passing game as well.
And the only thing that scares me is the injuries that he's brought into the NFL from college. You know,
Yeah.
so he's a big boy. He's a bigger boy, I should say. So it's like
Well,
you know,
he runs too tall.
He runs tall, and you know,
That's the
with
injury.
It's not
that
going to
weight,
work in NFL.
it's hard on the ankles and legs. It is what it is. So, but I think he's going to be healthy coming into the year and do work.
Unless he could be like AP. I mean, AP always ran high.
Yeah.
And he lasted a while before he finally got hurt. So
And they've put some great pieces on the O line. I think they're gonna flourish this year.
I agree.
So,
I think they'll be
I
alright.
like Fournette.
so that's
too.
my 20. What was that 28?
28. So let's move down to 27. I have Sammy Watkins. Sammy.
Wow.
He didn't make my
Wow,
top 50.
dude. He didn't make mine either.
I love
Yeah.
Sammy Watkins though.
Sammy Watkins.
Anybody?
I
Um,
held on to him for so long last year. He was my number. I drafted him in the 3rd round.
Well, he's coming off a year or off season where he wasn't hurt. He's finally ready to play. I feel like, I mean, the Bills aren't that good, but they're pretty good. He's going. This is if there's not a time that Sammy Watkins could do something finally. Like this is the year. This is the year that he has to.
Well,
He
he
doesn't really
just
have a
tweeted
choice.
out too that he wants to get paid like those NBA players. So let's
Yeah.
see what he's got.
Seriously.
Let's see if he's gonna put
So I
up
have
the
him
stats.
27. So I have him high. I'm ready for him to finally show up.
All right.
I'm ready.
I like.
Maybe.
You got a lot of Bills in this top 50,
Yeah,
man.
dude.
Yeah,
All right, guys.
I
So
do.
we're coming down to the wire. Let's just go through the rest of our top, 35 to 20, and then talk about a couple players we want to talk about. I'm going to go over mine, and then Jake, you go over yours, Tyler, you go over yours, and then we'll talk about a couple players we want to talk about. We're on, 27? At 27, I got Isaiah Crowell, and then tied at 25, so 25-26, I got Devontae Freeman and Telvin Coleman. I told you guys earlier that I'm really high on Telvin. I want to go. I want to go in depth.
Combo though.
Yeah.
Same-
I
same
want to go in depth with them in a second.
Team, same position, same ranking.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's just I'm not. The
you
thing
would have
is,
either one. You wouldn't rather have Freeman instead of Coleman.
I would have Coleman over Freeman, but
Wow.
on my list,
I don't
Freeman
know
is a
about
spot above him because Freeman's on the contract. Let's talk about it in a second. I want to go over mine. Let's all go over ours and
Okay.
we'll go over our topics. We need to get done with this thing. So Telvin Coleman, Devontae Freeman at 25-26. I got Dez and DeAndre at 24, which we talked about. We got 23 Drew Brees, 22 Cam Newton, 21 Leonard Fournette, and 20 DeMarco Murray. So those are the rest of my players. Let's hear what you guys got. We'll talk a little more in depth.
Do you not want to cover any of those key guys?
Did you
want
just say Cam Newton?
I did. Cam Newton's number 22 on my list, man. Like I've told you guys this. I am high on Cam Newton and his weapons around him. So
And he put DeMarco Murray in 20s.
no, top 20.
Oh my god!
I liked him.
Didn't you put him high or no?
He's 9 for me.
Oh, so yeah, no, DeMarco
yeah,
Murray's
he's 9 for me.
Yeah, I love DeMarco Murray. I mean,
I'd take him in the first round.
Wait, where'd you put
it was
DeMarco?
late.
20.
20. I have him at 23, so I have him same spot. But
Wow.
DeMarco though at the same
I have him
time,
at 9, which is a big difference.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
That's a first to a
absolutely.
second round.
that's a first round pick.
I would draft him in the first
I
round.
mean, I'm right there with you. But to me, DeMarco's the number 8 running back to me. You know, so there's other guys that I'm higher on. So we'll touch base on them on other segments. But why don't you guys tell us the rest of your guys'
So
picks?
we're at 20,
27?
27. So
To 20.
I had at who I really can't wait to elaborate on more is who we haven't talked about at all, which is crazy, is Isaiah Crowell. I don't know if he's
27 for you?
27, yeah.
Me too.
So
I have
Isaiah
him for
Crowell,
22 for me.
27. So I think what they've done to that offensive line this year is going to be incredible. I think he's going to have a better year than he did last year. I think last year he had a breakout year. So I think Isaiah Crowell is definitely a top. I think he's going to be a top running back this
He's
year.
a running back 12
Potentially.
for me. Yeah.
So I think he's going to be a top 10 running back this year, honestly. So I have Isaiah Crowell there. I got Devontae Freeman right after him. And then I got Lamar Miller
Okay.
at, 25?
25, yeah.
And then at 24, I got DeMarco Murray.
Okay.
We talked about 23. I got DeAndre Hopkins.
All right.
So D Hop up
We're
there.
all kind of...
And then 22,
I mean-
I got Juice Jarvis Landry.
Okay. Wow.
21, I got who I really think is gonna have a great year is Doug Martin. And then to top it off, I got
21 Doug Martin.
Yep.
Huh?
And then I got Doug Baldwin to wrap it off at 20.
Wow.
So those are my those are the last.
You guys are
10
down
guys.
on DeMarco, man.
DeMarco's.
Super.
I didn't
I'm
even-
not down on him. I mean, I
have players before him that I would rather pick.
No,
just
I
like we
can't
talked
wait
about.
to talk about these other players over DeMarco and the reason why DeMarco's a little bit lower.
Okay, so we'll go to mine. I already did my 27, so we'll go to 26. 26, Jordan Reed. We talked about him. I think he's the second best tight end. Touchdown machine. He's good.
Yeah. Yeah. To say the least.
without a doubt.
25, I have Leonard Fournette. I think, yeah, he's going to make that offense finally a real offense. 24, I have Amari Cooper. We talked about him.
Yep.
It's my boy.
23, Doug Baldwin.
Nice.
Talked about him a lot earlier.
Yeah.
I have him. I think he's going to be a little bit better. 22, I have Crowell, Isaiah Crowell.
Wow.
We are all kind of like on the same page. With
We
Crowell.
are. We are.
Yeah, which is weird. I didn't think you guys were even going to have him on the list.
No, I love Isaiah
No,
Crowell.
he's
I mean,
one-
the
I was
things
gonna
they
put him
did
as
to their
my sleeper,
offense.
but
Yeah.
I don't think he's a sleeper. I think he
No.
made his impact last year
Yeah.
to know about him this year. If you know anything, I mean, running backs are hard to come across.
No,
we
they
know that
are.
this year. He's one of those guys that I'm keeping an eye on without a doubt. If I can
Straight
grab him,
up.
I'm doing it.
21, I have Lamar Miller. A little bit lower than you guys. And wrapping it up at 20, I have T.Y. Hilton. He's the only guy that luck could go to, right?
He's at 19 for me. He's right under 20.
Yeah, so he's right there. Yeah, T.Y. is my guy at 20.
Ty's 19 for you, as am I.
So we're all kind of on the same page with T.Y.
That's funny.
So there's
Stats.
down to 20. We can get into some of these picks that we chose.
Well, let's talk about Isaiah. We all agreed that Isaiah is in our top 25,
Yes, I
27.
had Isaiah in both of my leagues last year, and I did not want him.
You tried trading him
Yes.
to
I
me
gave him
so
to
many
you.
Yeah,
times.
you
For
did.
Le'Veon Bell. I
Yes.
gave you Isaiah,
You just
Mike
threw it in.
Evans, and Jordy Nelson.
Yeah, you threw
For
it in.
Le'Veon Bell, and I don't even know who, but because I wanted Le'Veon Bell so bad, I
Yes.
gave up an arm and a leg.
Crowell.
And look at that, he was a great asset for your team
Oh,
last year.
beast! I don't even know how he ran the ball as much as he did because the Browns were so bad. I don't know why they're running it, but if they're even a little bit better this year, he'll be better than he
Well,
was
the
last
offensive
year.
line additions, I can't believe it.
Oozing with potential.
Kevin Ziegler, what's the guy's name from Packers?
Who did they
The
get?
center.
Is it Lindsley?
No,
Or
Lindsley's still there.
I don't know.
Treader?
Treader. J.C.
JC
Treader.
Treader's on the Browns.
Yes, that guy.
So,
he's a beast,
He's
man.
now on the Browns. A great addition. They're on Madden, both 80 overall, I believe. So it's a great decision to get rid of one of them. So Treader's now on the Browns. They made great additions to the offensive line. So I think Isaiah Crowell's going to have a great year, without a doubt.
Yes, I would like to talk about Cam Newton though.
Yes, I would love to talk about Cam Newton at 22 for me. He is the number 3
Is he
quarterback.
on your list?
Cam is we talked
He's
about
hot?
him. He was 50 overall for me
okay.
with
So
Derek Carr. So he was way up. He was higher. I
I mean,
lower down.
I
but
told you guys last time that I love Cam Newton. I think he's going to have a good year. Not a good year, I'm sorry. I think he's going to have a great year. And
I don't like him.
you're hating on him. You've been hating on him for a while, and I just don't get
I don't
it.
trust. I don't trust him. I would pick so many more QBs in front of Cam. He'd probably be. I don't know. I don't have it like written down or anything, but maybe like my 6th QB like that was available. So I don't know why you would pick him in the 20s. That's like almost
Second round. I'd
late
pick him in the
second round.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy to
Well,
me.
like Jake said earlier, I've got a different mindset than I've always had.
So
I'm
you should
high on
get.
QBs.
So you should get rid of Rodgers. You'll have for sure. Cam will be there.
My dad has
I want
Cam,
Cam,
and my dad told me he's keeping Cam.
Your dad.
That's pretty crazy. I don't think I
No,
would keep
your dad
Cam.
plays
But
with us
hold
like
on,
that,
you
though.
look. Look at who else he has. He doesn't have another keeper potentially. Who's he going to keep? Ty Montgomery.
Lamar Miller,
yeah, he has
Ty
none
Montgomery.
at all. I mean,
So,
none of those are like.
Cam-
But
actually
my
good
dad always
options.
comes to surprise us. My dad knows what he's doing.
He drafted Cam last year, knowing it was
Except
a keeper
last
league.
year. Last year he did not.
That's his guy.
The reason I drafted A-Rod in the second round is because my dad took Cam in the second round. I got scared. I knew people were going to start reaching for quarterbacks, and they did.
Yes.
But what I wanted to cover was my Devontae Freeman, Telvin Coleman segment.
Yes.
So, you guys are like hating on me for this.
Well, I don't know why you would make the same running backs on the same team.
Because I don't know. I don't know who's going to do what.
It's
Devontae Freeman.
It's Freeman.
He's a beast, man, but he's on a contract year, and they haven't signed him. They haven't done anything. So, what do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to feed him the rock all year and let him walk? Or do you think they're going to start really putting Coleman in there and really pushing Coleman the ball and just say, fuck you?
I think they
to
think
Devontae
they're going to
Freeman.
sign Freeman. That's what I think.
I don't.
I-
They would have.
I don't know.
I think Devontae too.
I
I
wouldn't
saw
put
some
him as
stuff.
equals.
Devontae talked about the Falcons in a way that I was like, he doesn't seem happy there. I think he at the end of this year is going to be in
He's
the free
leaving.
agency
He's
and
leaving.
going to go somewhere crazy. Like
So
the
they're going to
Packers.
give Telvin the ball. They're going to push him. They're going to push him the ball, and that's where I'm at. I love those guys. And then I want to touch base a little bit on DeMarco Murray. Everyone keeps saying that Derrick Henry is going to take the bulk. Derrick Henry, they drafted him to be the number one. DeMarco Murray, that guy's a beast. If he's got a line, which
no
he
one's
does,
taking anything from
No.
DeMarco.
I have DeMarco in the first round.
no, exactly. Look what he did with the Cowboys when he had a line.
Yes.
Okay,
And
he got
now-
traded to the
yes.
Eagles.
Look at what he did last year.
Nothing, because they were kind
They
of doing
had-
everything, and then they
Wait,
went to the
DeMarco?
Titans.
Oh yeah,
The Titans have a great offensive line as well. Top 5, no doubt about it. Top 3.
And they have an
And they
offense
fed
that works
him,
for
and he
him.
was
Yeah.
good.
Exactly. He did great. He was amazing.
I was able to trade him for Zeke somehow. I don't know
I know.
how it worked out, but I did it. That's how good he was.
Jared's still depressed. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, Jared.
Sorry,
it's gonna be
Jared,
all right,
you're
man.
stupid.
Fuck that.
But yeah, that's how I
We'll
feel
get-
about my guys. Why don't you guys talk about a couple of your guys? Let's get this moving.
Well, we got to wrap this up. We're going a little bit over an hour. We'll talk more about DeMarco when I bring him up. Probably not next episode, but the episode after that, because he is in my top 10. Is there anyone you want to talk about, or
I mean, so I have, just like we talked about, running backs are so scarce this year. I have another running back who I love Doug Martin this year, guys. He's coming
I
off a
did
3-game suspension, but I think as soon as he comes out, he's coming out the gates firing, and I think Dougie Fresh is someone you want to get your hands
Well,
on.
I'm sure all of you
Still
guys
don't
have
trust
read.
him.
Well, I'm sure everything you guys have read has been nothing but
Amazing.
yeah. He's doing great things in camp, and I read that Charles Sims actually his job's in jeopardy because how good Doug Martin looks. So we'll see
That's
though.
what they say every year.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone else
I'll
have kind of
believe it
we've
when
all
I
kind of
see
touched base on. Doug Baldwin, we all love. He's 20th overall for me. I think my My top 20 though, I can't wait to dive into.
I know,
but
I
it's
can't
all
wait.
people though that we know should be in the top 20. I think.
Yeah.
Besides,
It'll go by fast.
Yeah.
You know, we'll talk about it quickly.
So
and we'll move
we
on.
don't need to elaborate about the best players in the league. We know they're the best. So
Yes.
but I can't
Whoever
wait
you draft in the top 20, you're not letting go.
Yeah.
Those are your people. So.
Exactly.
Well, and we're in a keeper league, like we told you guys. So what we're gonna do after our top 50 is we're gonna kind of go more in depth what you do if you're in a keeper league and how you draft, because the first, like in our keeper league, you get to keep 2 players. So technically, you don't get the top 24 players. You have to really game plan around your draft and try to figure out how you're gonna maximize your team. So anyways, we'll talk about that more.
Strategy.
Exactly.
Yes. So
today that was our, what was that? 29 through
No, 35
30
through 20.
35 through 20 top 50 fantasy players. So guys, please give us love. Follow us on Instagram. Hit us up at theleague.podcast on Instagram and at theleaguepod. That's with 2 E's. The League Pod for Twitter and at theleague.podcast
Remember the
on
dot.
Twitter.
Period.
we
Period.
need that.
Yep. And we have YouTube, so please subscribe, like us, all that good
Ask
stuff.
us questions on Twitter.
Yeah,
If you
seriously,
follow us
send
on
us
Twitter, ask us
messages,
questions. We'll answer that. We're almost done with the top 50. We'll get that done.
Who did
and
we
we'll be
miss?
There. We'll
Let
be
us
there
know.
for you.
Who would have been on your top 50?
We are here for you.
Absolutely,
So ask
guys.
us questions. We are here with you.
Thanks for tuning
Let's
in.
get her done, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time. Have a great night.
What did I do? What did I do? The league, huh?